Hello, hello, and welcome to another week of Real Estate Unfiltered. Talking about filter, I don't know what's going on with my face in this camera, but it is what it is, and that's what I look like. So, welcome everyone, and I'm so glad to see everybody here. And the whole purpose we do this is because a lot of people have the same questions, and we just want to make sure that we address a lot of the questions here. So, obviously, I'm there every step of the way, but this way I can address some things right off the bat. And today we're talking about what exactly is the title, Mia, again? Uh, what's the title exactly?
When to walk away when
When to walk.
sometimes the best deal is the one you don't do. So the red flags that should make you cancel your contract.
Okay, so the red flag. So thank you, Mia. I just couldn't remember the exact title. Um, and it was long, but that's good. Um, so here's the thing, and I'm going to give you a personal story here. I almost bought an investment property many years ago. And, quite frankly, it was a pretty good deal. Okay. But the walkthrough, I thought everything was fine. And then I went to the basement to turn off the light and there was water coming in. Not major, but still. And I was very concerned about it. Not like super concerned, but I said, you know what? I want to make sure that's resolved. Long story short, the seller basically said, I'm going to personally do it myself, even though I'm not a contractor. And it was already a property that needed work and it was an investment. I don't know, just something funny sounded in my, it was like if she has this behavior and want to do everything herself, which clearly she already has done, what are the problems I'm going to have to deal with later? It just left a funny feeling in my stomach and my gut. And I just thought, you know what? No, no. So sometimes in this business, especially on some of these calls I'm on, they like to talk about, try to prevent these fall throughs. And the fall throughs are all-time high. That means after an inspection or what have you, people are backing away. Not as bad, actually, I should say. I think last year was worse, but just generally pretty high. I think a lot of that has to do with during the pandemic, people made rash decisions. They didn't get inspections, and now people are being overly cautious, which is probably a good thing, better thing than making rash decisions because it is a big investment and it is long term. So here's the thing. When you put an offer on a house, you have contingencies, one of which is a home inspection. And we highly, highly recommend you do not skimp off of that. It's $500. I just had someone who said, I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to save the money. You know what? That's your choice. That's your prerogative. As long as you understand, that there could be something you didn't know about. But if you feel comfortable moving forward during the pandemic, a lot of people did. So I'm not here to tell you what to do. As a trusted advisor, I'm here to give you advice. I just don't also, quite frankly, want things to come back to me that, oh, geez, or the seller that something came up that they didn't know about because they didn't know about it. So, okay. What else can I tell you? And, so like I said about the fall through at an all-time high, a lot of people are finding issues and backing out, and you can back out. And don't be afraid. Like I said, my gut was back out. And I'm not going to lie, that house is probably quadrupled in price. So sometimes I go, oh, maybe I should have just gone through with it. But here's the thing. It's easy to do that, but we don't know the problems that we could have had along the way. We just look at, oh, wow, it quadrupled. Kind of like when people's house appreciated, they do a flip and go, wow, they made all this money. You don't know all the work that went into it, all the headaches, all the hassles. So trust your gut, trust your instinct with everything. That's my attitude. And if you think this house needs more than you think it does, it's okay to back away. Now, don't also let a home inspector scare you. Their job is to find problems. Okay, a house is not going to blow up at any second. I had someone come up to me scared it was going to blow up at any second. And I said, well, how often do you see a house blowing up at any second? Does that really happen? And don't get me wrong, it's happened in a few places. That's why you want to be careful and don't do things amateurishly. I mean, we did have an issue where uh, there was some gas explosions of houses. Well, it turned out they did not get professionals to install the hot water tank. They did it themselves. So, You know, there's some things that I would not skip on financially. Make sure to hire a professional. If you're doing it yourself, you better know what you're doing. What questions do you have?
As of this time, have you ever had a buyer ignore your advice to walk away from a deal? If so, what ended up happening?
Oh, that's a very good question, Mia. I don't tell people, my attitude is if you're buying or selling a house, you're at least 18 and of sound mind. You're an adult. And I don't tell anybody ever you should back away from it. That's not my job. Every house has its problems. And that's why you get the home inspector. Let them tell you the problems. And from there, you can make an educated decision. So, no, I've never told anybody you shouldn't buy this house. That is not my choice. That's like saying you shouldn't date this guy. I mean, or girl or whatever you're dating. It's not for me to decide. It's for you to decide. All I can do is advise you on the steps to take to protect yourself. Any other questions?
Yes. Are there any certain red flags that you can spot on even before a home inspection is done?
That's a really good question. I'm really careful with that. And as realtors, we're supposed to be very careful with that because we are not inspectors. So we have to, I know that there's some agents who go out of the way to say, look at this problem that we could be completely wrong. So there could be a crack in the wall, but it's really just plaster cracking. It's not a structural issue. And sometimes, honestly, if you're on the buyer side, that's where the deals are to be had because either agents are selling, like what you just talked about. There's probably agents going, don't buy this, there's structural problems. And there really isn't one. Or maybe there is, but you won't know until you get the inspection. The only way to know is get a professional inspector. And when it comes to structural issues, and a structural engineer, I mean, that's what they're professionally meant to do. So, does that answer that question?
Yes, sure, Dana. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. As always, I am here to answer any questions. We just want to, the purpose of doing this, and thank you for me, all your hard work on this, is just to answer some simple questions in the shortest period of time, just to help you make some good decisions. But at the end of the day, I'm here every step of the way. So if you have any questions about real estate, any kind of real estate, buying, selling, investing, you know where to find me. Have a great day.